What is up, YouTube? Balls and Ball Cards back with another video. Hope everybody has had a wonderful week out there. It is 1 week away from Turkey Day, so hope you're happy and planned and excited and all that good stuff. We got November rolling right along. We're going to be into December. Christmas will be here before you know it. So hope you're all doing well. For anybody that's been new, commenting, subscribing, watching the videos, what have you, really appreciate it. Again, it's kind of new to me to do daily videos, but it's been a lot of fun. It's given me a moment to put my mind into something that I really enjoy, which is the hobby and the people in it, and collecting cards, talking about cards, and obviously, I love talking about grading. I do a lot of videos on grading. And so I'm glad that those who have watched enjoy and really appreciate the people who reach out and comment or message me or whatever and give the video a like and all that good stuff. So thank you. I do appreciate it. All right, so yesterday or last night I did the video on Nat Turner, giving my thoughts there with some preferential treatment, and how that situation was handled with his Jordan Stadium Club Triumvirate, and how he went through and showed the process that the card initially was thought to be damaged, but in fact it was more protected than we all knew. It still had a piece of the, I don't know what you call it, the laser paper or whatever on it, and you know, he walked it right back to the grader, and they fixed it right up for him, and got it good to go so he could stop being trolled on Twitter. And the video before that, I showed Jordan in an SGC slab. Funny theme here, Michael Jordan. In an SGC slab that was found to be fake, and, you know, shared some of how the case, you know, you got to be careful because people can open the cases very easily, and I'm sure if you're very meticulous, you can get the case open without much signs of it being tampered with. But anyway, I have kind of a explanation of the card because I was surprised nobody asked why that card was cracked out. That I shared the empty slab in the video on. I also want to kind of ensure people that it wasn't cracked out to sell raw because it was a 9 or anything like that. There's actually a story to it. And it's actually a story that can be tied in with a similarity of Nat Turner, believe it or not, with PSA. And why I said he showed his hand. Now, I've been accused of owning SGC, all in fun. I get it. You know, it's actually a humbling experience to know people think that I am that high up in the rankings when I am just merely at the bottom. I'm not affiliated directly with the company at all outside of just being a bulk submitter, so it's kind of fun to talk about in here, and you know, the jokes and everything. Hey Peter, quiet back there, man. You know, that's his office behind me. I had to get him to calm down while I was doing the video. But anyway, yeah, I want to talk about this because I think this needs to be shared as well. So as we know, Nat had a card that was assumed to be damaged, and it had a PSA 10 on it, and people was like, holy hell, Nat gets preferential treatment, blah, 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 about the grading. And then he showed, hey, the card wasn't damaged, you know, all that, right? Saved face, sort of. There was questions. And I just said in the video last night, if that was my card, I couldn't walk it back to the grader. Even if I lived in Boca Raton right now, and I had an issue with the card, I guarantee you they're not letting me walk that card into the grading room and stand there and watch the grader do his job. I guarantee it. But let's talk about this. So over here, as you see, there is a blue StarQuest Michael Jordan in an SGC 9. If you remember and you watched the video about the SGC slab, that was the empty slab I showed. How interesting, right? So what did I do? Did I put the card back in and seal the slab up? No. In fact, it's right here. Voila. Bam. So let me tell you the story. And this also is going to show that I don't just prop everything up with SGC. If I have questions, I am going to try to get answers because that's how I want to do things. So this was submitted by a gentleman up in Canada, actually, which made things a little bit more complicated. And he reached out to me one day and he was like, man, I noticed that there is a black spot encapsulated in the slab. And he sends me pictures and he's like, is there anything we can do about this? And I look at them and I'm like, yeah, next time you send cards, I'll get it sent in for you. So anyway, there is a very, very, very tiny little white speck right there that he also noticed that wasn't on the card. What happened is a piece of the matting was encapsulated in the card and it kind of put a little indentation in the card. Now, there's a part to this that I cannot explain. I don't know if the card was graded or proofed and they didn't spot that little speck, but they noticed like maybe that white spot. I don't know exactly how it got to where it got to begin with. But the card came as an SGC 9. That's this slab. I sent, he sent it back. I sent it in. I'm sitting there. I check when they go to ship the order out. It pops the grades. Well, actually, the scans, I believe, is what I've seen it on first. But I noticed that the label still said it was a 9. So 9 to a 9. I immediately get on the phone. And I'm like, hey, before y'all ship this order out, before it gets on the truck, can you take that card and tell me how it's still in the same label? If there was, a little damage done, can you explain to me how it's still in the same grade? And so the gentleman that I spoke with, he went and tracked the card down. He took it to a proofer. He calls me back and he's like, they looked it over. They feel it's still conducive of a 9. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm confused. How did it come in a 9, potentially have damage, and stay in a 9? This is where I'm thinking that the original proofing, they may not have spotted the speck, but they seen maybe this white, I don't know, and they gave it the 9. But anyway, I get it back. I'm confused at this point. I'm actually a bit irritated because I'm like, these guys are too good to be doing that, right? How did the card have a 9, have some damage, stay in a 9, whatever. So I'm questioning things at this point. They did, by the way, I want to mention they did compensate the submitter. He's well aware he has credit for the compensation of the quote-unquote damage, I guess. Because this card may have potentially, again, it might have originally been a better grade, but then when the proofer looked at it or what have you, seen that white speck or something and said, hey guys, you need to change this, and this spot here, might have been noticed and they changed the label. That might have been what happened. I don't know. But anyway, I contact the submitter and I'm like, hey man, I got questions and I want answers. I will pay for this out of my own pocket, but I want the self-redemption of knowing that things are done right for your behalf and just for my peace of mind. Because I try to help everybody out the best I can, and I want to make sure everybody understands that things are being done properly. There's answers, if there's questions. So I asked him if I could have the permission to pop the card out, crack it out of the case, and resubmit it. I would pay for the submission. And let's see what it did. Well, you see it. It came back another 9. So this tells many things. A, it was graded properly to begin with. B, they stuck to their grade when I called, and even with them not even knowing this was the same damn card, sending it back. It also shows that I am not Nat Turner, because there was no walking it in, getting it, Now, obviously, this card's not the value of a triumvirate, but at the same time, I always have to send cards back. The people that submit with us, if there's an issue, I try to catch them before we send them out. But if there is an issue, they may get the cards back, realize it, like this situation. Then they have to send it back to us. They have to wait. We send it in. They wait for it to be corrected or what have you. It gets sent back to me, and then I send it back to them. It's not this walk in the office and take it directly to a grader and get things fixed situation. There's a process involved. Luckily, SGC is quick, and the stuff gets fixed quick. They've also been very good at, if something's happened to someone's cards and there's 100%, responsibility on their part, they'll compensate the people. So, does it suck that things happen like that? Absolutely. They all make mistakes, man. Don't even play the fiddle of that any of them are perfect. They all make mistakes. Like, we are humans. Even the robot company Tag's going to make mistakes. I'm assuring you. They will not be perfect. Humans are likely encapsulating the cards, and I'm sure something will get damaged at some point, right? Shit happens. But I have to sit here and say, SGC 100% passed this test. But I also wanted to share this because Nat didn't seem to really think anything about the card, apparently, until people called him out. As soon as this card was kept in a 9, I started questioning it. I called him. I was like, hey, go check that card. I called the guy who submitted it. I was like, hey, man, I have no explanation for you, but the card stayed a 9. Now, granted, they're giving you, credit here, but I don't like that it stayed a 9 because I don't understand. Let's submit it again and see what they give it. Then I'll be confident and comfortable that it's a 9. So, anyway, I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys to see. I seen Matt on the Nat Turner video commented that he was trying to be transparent. There's other ways Nat could have been transparent. He could have submitted the card like every other, lowly peasant, as Carlos likes to call. He could have submitted it like us peasants with a note saying, hey, I'm concerned on the grade of this. Notice the spots, put it in a sleeve and circle it, or circle the damn slab itself. Mark where the concern was. Said, I would like to have this card reviewed. They could have found it and then told him, hey, the card has paper on it. Do you, remove it and resubmit it or whatever. Instead, no. The man walked the shit right back to the grader. I would love to do that. I would love to go down and visit SGC and, walk cards right in and take them right back to the graders and tell them, explain things. I get stuff back sometimes that I don't understand. And I try to answer, try to ask questions, but I don't have direct contact with a grader. I have to go through the chain of command. I have to talk to my rep, who then has to hopefully have the time to figure out who graded the card I have a question on, to then get an answer from them, if they can remember, after the thousands and thousands and thousands of cards they graded, to give me a proper answer. 9 times out of 10, that answer is likely not happening. Unless it's something recent, and unless the guy, it's a relative card that, stands out. Many times, they're not going to have an answer. This particular case, when we submit cards, they have no clue whose cards they are. 0. They have no clue what cards are mine. They have no clue what cards would be yours. They have no clue what little Timmy's cards are. They have no clue of whose cards are whose because we submit it just under our name, and all of the cards, there's 30 people sometimes, or not 30, but probably 10, 15 people sometimes on one single invoice. They don't know who in the hell's card it is. So that takes out the special treatment of it all. The questions are done. So it's all anonymous. And to see this, and I wanted to share it and kind of explain why this slab was, blank the other day. The card wasn't cracked out to be resold. I actually was kind of testing SGC. To be clear and open, that's what it was. They passed the test. There's the example. There's the story. I am not like Nat Turner. I do not get special treatment, even though I get accused of owning the company. So, anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Shout out to SGC. Great job, guys. Keep doing it. But be a little bit more careful when you're encapsulating because damaging cards sucks ass. So, hope you have a wonderful day. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next video, I'm out.